It's about a year since I've owned Shangrila, and I thought it was worth going through and giving an update of what's been done. I'm walking up the main drive to the house now, and you'll see, if you compare it with the previous video, that it's now significantly wider to allow the water wagon to come up, which it can do. In fact, I had a delivery today. Mostly it was just a question of scraping it and tidying it up, but a couple of trees had to be cut back as they were encroaching on the branches were encroaching on the roadway. This is one particular tree that we've had to knock 2 or 3 branches off. Whilst the digger was up here, we got him to remove the old dead trees. There was 2 here, walnuts, and then across the terrace there was another couple of trees. So all those have been ripped up and they're now waiting for new trees to be planted. We'll probably put almonds here, and across towards the workshop studio we'll put in lime or orange, something like that. What we've also done with the road is to reinstate the diagonal trenches for water relief. So we've now got 4, I think it is, on this main road, and made sandbags in order to enhance the direction of the water flow. We've only had one big storm this year. We've had quite a number of little storms, but one big storm where the water was running right down the roadway. The trenches did work well. I only had to reinforce one trench with sandbags. The water was flowing sufficiently to be able to collect some in the deposito, so the trench, which I'll show you in a minute, again worked well, although I haven't cured the erosion problem up on the top garden. What I've done here is taken a huge amount of debris from the pine tree mainly, cleared it, and that's allowed the grass to start growing again. And I'm hoping that in 2 or 3 years' time this bank will be populated and it'll stabilise because of the grass and the vegetation on it, rather than just the dead debris. One of the things that wasn't clear from the original video was the extent to the little terraces and pathways that the previous owners had made. Because it had fallen into disrepair, you couldn't see these terraces, but I've now been able to clean them up, and you can see them. The next stage is to get irrigation to them so that I could plant and make use of the plantable area. You now walk straight along the back of the shower room. What we've also now done is put in a water pipe which goes currently up to the top of the tower, so that's reinstated, and we've put it in underground. We've also put in 2 electricity cables. One is a very heavy duty 12-volt cable, so I don't get loss of voltage over the distance I'm taking it, and the other one's a 240 volt to work the pump. This is the water pump house, and it's now got a new pump which collects the water from the deposito and pumps it out through the black and blue pipe underground, then up to the tower. Tank I'm hoping to put up in the top of the garden and around to the back of the house, where the it'll draw water from the top of the carport. Moving back to the shower room, I've fitted a 12-volt pump just below the sink outside, which feeds water in under power, and you can now see this and through to the shower. As the pipe feeding this shower room comes right across the gravel driveway, it gets hot, or certainly warm, and you've probably got about a minute and a half of warm water coming through the shower, and then it starts to go cold again. But it's not cold, it's just tepid. So it's adequate at the moment, but I need to solve the problem of having a supply of hot water which is solar generated in some form or another. Moving to the back of the house, I've positioned one of the water tanks at the back. It just needs raising maybe a foot to give me the fall I need to be able to put a pipe through to the house, both in the kitchen and also the interior bathroom which I'm creating. Behind the water tank is now the wood store, so I've now got somewhere proper to put the wood that I need, and I've started accumulating it for this next winter. I've also managed to get hold of some reasonably good timber planks, which I'll make a number of different things from, but the main thing I'm going to be making benching in the veranda area. This is the little motor. You'll now see another addition that has been done, which is we now have guttering all the way through the house, which now enables any water off the roof to be collected in the tank underneath the kitchen. Similarly, we've now put guttering on the carport, which enables water to be collected from that roof and into the barrel. One of the tanks that I've just bought, the 1000 litres, I'll replace instead of that green tank, because if it is a big storm, that tank just gets overloaded very, very quickly. So 1000 litres will make a huge difference, and if I again position it properly at the right level, I should be able to irrigate all the banking in front of the house where I'm trying to grow the grass. Moving up to the back of the house, it's now become more apparent that in its heyday this was a very, very nice terrace garden. It's again got these little semicircular terraces, and I'm hoping that again one of the tanks that I've bought I'll be able to position somewhere up here and pump from the main pump house so that I can irrigate this area of the land. You can see here in front of you is a little terrace, there's one there, and there's the remains of 2 or 3 further ones, but through lack of maintenance and weather erosion, these things have just gone into disrepair. And you can see also some steps leading nowhere because the land's just eroded. Hopefully we'll be able to stabilise all this area and make it into a nice garden again. This gives another view of the wood store and the water tank, but you can also now see that above the windows, which is the bedroom window closest to you and then the bathroom next to it, I've been able to put solar panels, and the solar panels generate sufficient energy, sufficient electrical energy to power an inverter and also a 12-volt system throughout the house, currently we're not using the solar panel on the roof, which is the original solar panel. I don't think it's got any energy left in it in terms of working properly or efficiently. What I might do is I have got a spare panel, and I might consider putting it on the roof, but I'd rather keep everything towards ground level if I can, for ease of maintenance. And this is one of the reasons why I want to go away from the tanks on top of the shower room, because they're a pig to maintain. So if they're at ground level, you've got half a chance of doing any maintenance that's necessary and required. You can now see the work that's been done on the trench down to the first settlement pit, which then runs into this little gully, and then onto two further settlement pits before going into the deposito. Looking at the tiling on the sun terrace, you can see that the vegetation has been removed and tiles relaid, and new tiles where necessary. I've spent a lot of time cleaning up the railings before putting primer on, and then a top coat. There's only one top coat at the moment, but I'm just letting that harden off a bit before I rub it down again and put a further top coat on.